But the Quinn is always coming! Welcome to my series of horror movie reviews for 2019. I'm calling this the Halloween Spooktackular. I'm going to try and do a lot more of these than I did last year. And I'm starting it off on October 1st here. And I'm going to be talking about the entire Blade trilogy, starting with Blade. Motherfucker. Blade was released in 1998. It stars Wesley Snipes in the title role as Blade, and in this one, he has to stop Deacon Frost from initiating a ritual that will revive the vampire god La Magra. Blade came out at a time where comic book movies just weren't really doing all that well. We had the Superman movies in the late 80s that really flopped, like Superman 3, Superman 4. In 1989, we had Batman, and we thought that maybe the comic book movies were going to flourish again, and Batman Returns was released in 1992. But it was a little bit too dark for some parents, and that forced Warner Brothers to go a little bit more family-friendly with the Batman movies, so that's why in 1995, Batman Forever happened. That was a little lighthearted, and then 1997, that happened. We don't talk about that, though. Blade came out in 1998, so it was at the height of when Batman was becoming a joke. And nobody was really taking comic book movies seriously anymore. But Blade really doesn't get enough credit, because Blade is really the one that started this huge wave of comic book adaptations. A lot of people say if it weren't for the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire, then we wouldn't have gotten the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With that, I always say, without the X-Men series, we never would have gotten the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. But it all boils down to stuff before that, too. When you really think about it, we probably wouldn't have gotten the X-Men series without Blade. Blade is so influential as to why these movies are being made now. It doesn't get enough credit. It gets so overlooked. And Blade, while it's not a great movie at all, I have a really fun time watching the first Blade movie. It's not a great movie by any means. There's some really bad editing choices in here, like I'll talk about one in a little bit. But I enjoy Blade for what it is. I think it's kind of a cheesy 90s action movie that's intentionally a cheesy 90s action movie, an intentional B-movie. And that's all I can really ask for with a movie like Blade, especially when you have Wesley Snipes playing Blade. Now, just fair warning, if you have not seen any of the Blade films, I will be revealing some spoilers about Blade, so if you have not seen Blade and you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch this video. I also think that this is a perfect time to talk about Blade, since a Blade reboot was announced at San Diego Comic-Con that I happened to attend, and Mahershala Ali is going to be playing Blade. So again, Wesley Snipes plays Blade, and he's perfect for this role because he doesn't have that much dialogue. Blade, there's nothing really to the character of Blade other than that he was born when his mother died, and she was bitten by a vampire, so now he's a half-human, half-vampire, and he's just going around hunting vampires. It's perfect for Wesley Snipes, because he's got very minimal dialogue in this first Blade movie, and he just makes it all work. I've always thought Stephen Dorff was over the top as Deacon Frost, and he's totally over the top. I love it. It's so great. He's so great as Deacon Frost, though. He's perfect for Deacon Frost. But the real standout in this movie is Donald Logue, the dumbest yet most awesome henchman ever, Quinn. Look, man, I got both my arms now. I can play the piano. You can slice them, you can dice them, but the Quinn is always coming.
Well. You took my arm, man. Remember? But it's cool. I got a new one. Think I'll ever play piano again? You can slice him, you can dice him, but the Quinn man just keeps on coming.
Quinn is the man because he doesn't even follow Deacon's orders. He's there as the comic relief guy, and then when Deacon Frost tells him to do something, he does the exact opposite and just fucks up the entire situation. But it's so great because oh, he's so funny, man. There are so many great scenes in Blade, despite not really being a great movie. Again, I do like the first Blade, but it's by no means like an amazing movie. So many iconic scenes in here, though, but there's no doubt the impact that these had on the comic book movie genre. One of those scenes is the opening scene with the rave, when Blade interrupts a rave at a nightclub that Deacon Frost owns because he's hunting Deacon Frost. He's got some good one-liners in there too. I don't remember any of them, but he's got some good ones in there too. And then there's this woman, Karen Jensen. She's a doctor, and every time I watch Blade, I always remember her being annoying. But then when I watch it, I'm like, you know what? She's actually a really good character. There's nothing much to her. That's the thing. There's nothing to these characters, really. This movie suffers from a lack of character development, but I mean, you don't really care. I mean, it's just there to, and this is a movie that is just there to entertain you. To really, honestly, just set up what is to come in the superhero genre. That's what's going to happen later on, is we're going to get more movies in the superhero genre that rely more on character rather than just action sequences, kind of like Blade does. The thing that makes Blade so fun is that it kind of feels like a martial arts movie as well as like a gung fu movie. There's a lot of gunfights and a lot of martial arts stuff and a lot of sword fights too. For the most part, it's all choreographed really well. Sometimes it looks like they're dancing, especially at the end, but it's choreographed really well, and the fight scenes are pulled off really well. Stephen Norrington did a really good job directing that, and the choreographer did a really good job doing that as well. Back to the character of Karen. I think she is one of the better aspects of this movie. I don't think she gets enough credit. Female characters in the first two Blade movies, Karen and Nisa in the second one, feel like are what people are asking for now. Female characters. They're not strong female characters, but they are female characters that actually do quite a bit, and they accomplish a lot. And thank God they're not annoying, because female characters back in the day were annoying. Thank God they're not annoying. And they actually get shit done. She doesn't annoy Blade at all. She's there by his side, helping him out. He's kind of unsure of the situation at first, but then once she gains her bearings, she's like, okay, I think I got a grasp on this, and she goes and helps Blade. And it works. It really works. Kristofferson, the man with two first names, is Whistler. Whistler is awesome. He's Blade's friend, and he dies. When he dies, it's just like, oh, man. Whistler's dead? No, can't be. That's the thing, though. I feel like it's not even the characters or the actors that make these characters iconic. I feel like it's the dialogue. Everybody's just got really good dialogue. Like the cop Krieger. Like, who the hell plays that guy? What character is he? Other than to get killed by Deacon Frost later in the movie. Krieger? Man, what a savage. A human working for the vampires, bringing them blood. This movie does suffer from not explaining everything. Like, when Blade finds out what Deacon Frost wants to do from this obese character named Pearl, it's just like, yeah, you have to go to the Temple of the Light or something like that. And he's gonna raise La Magra, the vampire god. And then we just don't find out anything else. It's just, alright, he's gonna complete this ritual and he's gonna become La Magra. But where's this lore? Like, where's this coming from? This is just out of left field. But we have to go with it. The movie doesn't really explain the situation as to who La Magra is, other than a vampire god. Doesn't explain where the vampire god comes from, the background of it, anything like that. It's just a ritual, and he's a vampire god. Or she's a vampire god. That's all we know. So now we get to the end fight, and Blade and Deacon Frost kind of beat the shit out of each other. And then there's this weird edited scene where Blade, who has been resisting the urge to feed on people because he's drinking the serum, brings his serum with him, but it's stuck up in like the rafters, so he hits the rafters, and behind his back, he catches the serum, and then there's this weird edited scene where he starts throwing the serum at Deacon, and it's cut together so quick you can't even see him throw it at him, or the impact, and then Deacon Frost explodes! He explodes! But more importantly, before he even kills Deacon Frost, Wesley Snipes says the best line in cinematic history. I love it. He just kills him right before he kills him. He just says this line. Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? I have no idea. What context does that play into the movie?
What does that have to do with anything? And what does it mean? I don't know. But Wesley Snipes said that. And it's awesome. And then Deacon Frost blows up, and we have the end of the movie. And he kind of blows up in a funny way. Something I forgot to mention with this movie is that there are some unintentionally funny parts. Like Donald Logue is definitely the comedic relief, but there are some funny parts where it's just like people like blow up like Deacon Frost, and it's just like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? Just something like that, you know. Blade, I'm not gonna say is a great movie. It's really fun to watch when you have time to kill. It didn't get good reviews when it came out. It's a movie that has developed a cult following, and I feel like has gotten more of a reputation within recent years as being the one movie that revived the superhero / comic book genre. It's got a lack of character development, it fails to explain a lot of stuff, and its acting's not the greatest. It relies on really cheesy dialogue to carry it, but man, it is fun to watch. Its action scenes are great. You can tell it's inspired by a lot of martial arts and kung fu. I love watching this movie. It's really fun. When I watched this today, I was just like, man, I don't remember this being this fun, and I'm glad it was. It's definitely an intentional B movie, and because of that, I'm gonna intentionally give Blade a B. That's my review of the first Blade movie, guys. I hope you stay tuned for more reviews coming soon for this October. I'm going to have a blast talking about a lot of horror movies. Coming soon is Blade 2, and then after that, well, Blade Trinity, unfortunately. Stay tuned very soon, guys. Over here on the left, you can find some more links for more reviews I have done in the past. You can also, this little circle with my picture in it, yeah, that picture where I'm sitting on the Game of Thrones throne, you can click that to subscribe. I'll leave all my links to my social media accounts in the description below. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.